up, everybody? Welcome to Aspects Land of a Changing Man. My name is Gold, and I'm bringing you another episode. If you want to hit me up, definitely do that. My email address is mplsmikid at yahoo or gmail.com. At mplsmikid is my Twitter. Aspects Land of a Changing Man is the Facebook page for this podcast. Also, Gold Washington is my Instagram page if you want to hit me up on there. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'm appreciative for everyone that listens to this show and definitely gives feedback, positivity, or, letting me know what they think about the show. I haven't really heard anybody disagree with it, but I've heard different things about it that could be improved, but I do thank everyone for any advice that they give for this show to keep continuing and showing that people are actually listening to it without just seeing the numbers go up, but people participating and showing that they listen to it is definitely a great thing. I've been missing for a minute. I definitely have, due to personal reasons. I definitely had to go find myself in a different type of way. So I kind of took an adventure, and I actually found some great things while I was on that adventure. I was actually into. I went to go to a table by myself. I was actually going to charge my phone due to it being on like 30%, but I needed it to be fully charged. And I sat at this table. And I was by myself at this table, but there was a book there. And I looked at the book, and, it was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And which, I'm sorry if I get, you hear like me snuffing and stuff. I'm kind of sick at the moment, but by Dale Carnegie. And it's a great book. It definitely lets you know a lot of stuff about how to deal with people as far as different things when it comes to different things like talking and dealing with people. Me myself, I definitely was a person that liked to argue. I like to look at it as debating, but I like to debate so much that it would turn into an actual argument, and it happened with a lot of people. And I was always wondering why with certain people that I couldn't get them to understand what I was saying or understand, if I was right and I knew I was right, why couldn't I get them to sway towards the way that I think? And this book actually showed me a lot about that, and it made me understand like the way to handle different people in different situations, because everyone doesn't deal with situations the same, and a lot of people don't trust in you as a person, or just as you in the situation of how you talk to people, how they react to you. So definitely reading this book, the first thing that when I opened it up, the first thing that popped in my head was you can't win an argument. And I was looking like, why would it say that? You can't win an argument. But as I read on into this book, as I read on into that chapter, it actually was showing me you really can't win arguments. And with a lot of people, they don't want to argue. They get to the point where, the argument's over. Even if you win or you lose, you may lose more than what you think you would, by winning an argument. And I was reading it, and it gave me insight on a lot of situations that I've been in where the argument was over. No matter what, the argument was over, but the arguing continued. So I started to look at it like, hey, what do I do with these situations? And one thing was like, you got to avoid argument. Don't argue at all. So I had to look at it and be like, how do you not argue but talk to people and try to sway them your way? And it gave me very good insights on, just talking. Sometimes you got to listen. Sometimes you got to ask questions. Different types of things that make you, you know, make you more presentable to people. And there was a lot of things that I actually had to see. I kept reading into the book, and it was giving me a very good insights. Like you want to look for areas to agree with people. Get people to soften up to you, and like I argue with a lot of people, and you know, I never knew how to handle them to soften their heart. I never knew that they were actually hardening their heart to see what was going on. Uh, for me personally, it was sometimes I wasn't even arguing to persuade a person, towards my way. I was just arguing to win, and I was just trying to win the argument. I wasn't trying to, find a resolution or, see if I was wrong in it. I was just trying to win the argument, and even when I knew I was right, with some people I would argue with them, and it would get to that point where even if it was correct and I won it, something negative happened afterwards. I left a negative mark on that person, and they were more against me. And I started to think, and I use this as an example, if me and another person were holding the gun up to each other, and the reason that we were holding those guns pointed at each other was because we had a different opinion. We had two different opinions. If I killed that person, he still would die with that opinion on his mind. So, you know, uh, if I, if no matter what, I shouldn't, I shouldn't be aiming to kill his opinion. I should be aiming with love to, to try to make him see my way. And it was definitely a humbling experience. So it became more of, even if I knew it was the answer to a person, I would try to see about, them seeing if I was wrong, and say, hey, man, I may be wrong in this situation, but here's what I think, or here's the facts, so that we both can find out. Because, if I come to a person, I say, you're wrong, they may get defensive, and no more becomes a fact of, us fixing it. They become a fact of them being defensive, which that's happened in a lot of my arguments. I was still trying to prove a fact, but they were just trying to battle against me. And the great thing that I like about this book is that it not only lets you know like what is a problem, but it also gives examples with real life people. It gives examples where a person actually went through it and seen these situations and had to change. It gave the before and it gave the after. And it was actual people with real results of using these as their um, using these steps as their way of reacting to people. And it was great. If it wasn't himself, it was somebody that was famous that you could see and you can picture. And it definitely let me know a lot about people that I didn't know. So it was great to try to get people that related to the subject to explain it, because I it's my opinion. I may be wrong in it, but a lot of people like to know things about people that went through that struggle. When it comes to situations where I've been around, we like, especially in the black community, when it comes to music, when you want to feel what somebody is saying, and more likely you're going to feel it from a person that's actually been through it. So that, I may be wrong about it for everybody, but for me, with my opinion. That's what I feel like a lot of people like, is someone that actually went through it instead of someone that learned about it and never seen it, but is good at explaining it. So it was good to actually see the subjects of these people, the subjects be these people that have actually been through these type of problems. And I actually used some of these steps that I seen that was a problem with me, and it actually worked. It actually worked for a lot of situations. I still get to the point where I want to like argue, but it's more of it's not more of me trying to prove someone wrong anymore, or trying to tell them that they're wrong. It's more of me trying to get them to see if I'm right, or to see how wrong I am. And the one thing that I learned about it is that if I'm saying that somebody is wrong and I say something wrong, it's going to be a very humbling experience when they prove me wrong on a subject. So I must be open to being wrong, and by opening the subject of, hey, I may be wrong, but let's look at the facts. That actually makes it so that I'm actually, hey, this is just my opinion. It's not threatening to somebody to saying this is an actual fact from me. So, and the book was so good, I read it in like 2 days. I went through, a little situation, and when I was reading it, I couldn't, I put it down, but I wanted to read more. And, for it being 200 and, it's not a lot of pages, 248-ish, only 248-ish, um, it it was a short, it's a short book, but it went by with a short time because I was so interested in all the subjects that were in there, and I wanted to show it to others. I mean, it's a great book and a great learning experience. I definitely will be looking into other subjects that have to do with things that relate to dealing with people, um, especially dealing with people that are strong-willed, dealing with people that are very defensive, and dealing with people that I've dealt with in the past that I haven't successfully dealt with, as far as um, me communicating with them. And I had a communication, subject episode a while ago, but this right here is more. Reading this book gave me more of a more in-depth way of handling a situation, of talking to someone if you're going to have a disagreement with them. So that was a deep thing about the book, is if you have a disagreement with someone, this is how you handle it. This is how you're going to handle it with a person that like complimenting, looking for areas of agreement, looking for them to say yes, 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 like yes twice. You want them to agree with you twice before you begin the subject. You know, um, like I say, the best way to win an argument is to avoid it. You can't win an argument with a lot of people. So that's the one thing you got to think about it. It's the ways that when I opened it, I was figuring out ways to avoid an argument. I may be wrong. Just these are just things that I wrote down as notes when it came to these subjects. You don't want to go against someone else's pride, so you really don't want to say like you are wrong and I am right, because now you're going against someone else's pride, and now they get defensive, and people will be ready to battle you for their pride, definitely, when it comes to an argument. So um, you want to avoid a fixed opinion. You want to use words like I was thinking, or in some cases I imagined this.